All right, copper nerds, let's wake up the neighborhood and go check out the coin show. Well, I'm back from the show. Had a pretty good little haul. There was virtually nothing for copper out there. And the weather got crappy, rainy and windy, and it was about a 75-mile drive. So just got back driving through the wind. And I'll show you a little footage from the show itself, and then we'll go through the haul. Morning. Good morning. Just a little copper, some half cents, a few large cents, a few more large cents, and some cool older silver. Hey, you got some fun stuff in here. Yep. Almost gotta just do a video sometimes. Look at that. Awesome. Yeah, I appreciate it. That's a fun addition. I don't know if I like that graffiti enough to spend $8 or not. Looking through the culls. Nothing super exciting, but I don't know. Old graffiti is kind of neat. Maybe. There's the few large sets here. Some flying eagles. This was a pretty cool find for less than $10 over melt. I think it's worth a good bit more than that though. That's cool. Kind of looking for a nice Barber Quarter. I have a decent half. I've got a nice dime, but the toning on that is just lovely. Yeah, the reverse is a little nicer than the obverse, but the obverse is still pretty nice. Looks like it might have some old light cleaning maybe, but yeah. Well, let's start with the copper. I did pick up that Texas stamped large cent, which got a little verdigris to try and get out of that hole. What is this thing? An 1828, something like that. It's one or the other. And it's just sort of a novelty. It was like $8. So I grabbed it just because I didn't want to leave the show with zero copper. But as you saw in the footage from the show, there was just really not much exciting to choose from. So that's the copper score. We'll leave it Texas side up and we'll put it, I don't know, there. No, we're not going to put it there. Let's put it there. Okay, that'll be a good spot for now. Do you like toners? I do. I really don't have any, or not many. This is definitely the most toned up, rainbow toned Morgan that I have in my collection. I don't know whether this is natural or artificial toning, and I don't really care because I paid very little for it. So that's our obverse. Gosh, just so much going on there. Really a nice sharp coin with strong luster and not too many bag marks on Liberty's face. And then our reverse, also just very nice. Lots of luster, lots of rainbow toning. So that is an exciting acquisition. I'm pretty pleased with that one. Since I got to the show early, I got sort of first access at the tables, and I walked past one, saw this one looking at me, and saw the price that was on it, and I just grabbed it. It was less than $50, so you can't go wrong whether this is artificial or natural toning, given that it's a high-grade Morgan and at that kind of a price. So that was a fun one. I've been working on a basic typeset and of slabbed coins, and I have a Barber dime and half, but I did not have a quarter, and I sure can't find any signs of circulation on this one. But it's an AU55, and again, some pretty nice rainbow toning, not quite as impressive as on that Morgan, but very, very nice. Check out that reverse. The reverse is just incredible. The obverse maybe had just a little bit of handling, more so than circulation, but not enough that it doesn't have luster, because it certainly has luster on the obverse. There it is. I don't like slabs for a lot of reasons, except on type coins. I really don't mind a slab on a type coin, and so this one's going to stay in the slab. I'm not going to crack it out or do anything crazy, but look at that. Pretty lovely example. So I got my Barbers complete, at least the dime and the quarter and the half. Yeah, that is a very nice coin. This one I'm really excited about. 1933 was kind of a crazy year in the U.S. for precious metals. In May, the Gold Confiscation Act was signed, which prohibited the private ownership of gold, which resulted in the melting down of a lot of gold coinage and in the surrender of gold by U.S. citizens at ballpark $20 an ounce. And then as soon as the gold was confiscated, the spot price of gold was about doubled, which devalued all the currency that people had been given in exchange for their gold. But that same year, early that year in January, the Pedley-Ryan and Company in Denver produced these 1 ounce silver rounds. And they're quite rare. I picked this up for a handful of dollars over spot, like not much over spot. And the seller didn't know what it was, and I wasn't familiar with it either. I've looked into it in the last couple of hours and am shocked to find out that this is a very limited production round. Just taking a look here off camera at my phone, but yeah, they had a type 1, which there was 60 of. These are in 1933. And then they had the type 2, which had an error in that it said 90% fine when they were actually 99% fine. They only made 15 of those. And then the type 3, which is what this is, they made 85 pieces after they had removed the word fine from the dies. After that, they made hundreds of the next several that were produced. But they're rare in general, but this one being a type 3 is 1 of 85. The type 2s only had 15, the type 1 only had 60, the type 3 had 85, so a little more common than the type 1 and 2, but still exceptionally rare. And it's in, it's in decent shape. It's got some scuff marks and slide marks on it. I received it in a capsule. I'm going to put it back in a capsule, but there's no rims on these, so there's nothing to protect the fields and the surfaces. But really neat find. I mean, I think it's worth probably 5 times what I paid for it. So you can't go wrong with an unexpected find like that. So that was a cool one. And then lastly, you saw this was in that big display box earlier. This is a Mexican 8 reals, 1778 8 reals, which was recovered from the shipwreck of the El Cazador, which sunk in 1783 and was recovered, or discovered anyway, in 1993. So this one's got some shipwreck effect, which is sort of a rough surface from the damage that the salt water did to the coin during its couple 100-year bath. And yeah, that's just kind of a neat piece of history. I don't have any shipwreck coins yet, so this is my first certified shipwreck item, and yeah, glad to have it. So had a good time at the show today. Didn't get as much stuff as I did last year, but the stuff that I did get was pretty exciting. And, not much copper. Last year I did get a chain cent and a 1794 S70, although I had talked with one of the dealers that I work with from out of state in advance, and they brought stuff with them. But this time, I'm just really happy with what I was able to pick up just by scouting around at the show, by being there early and helping do the setup, which is a perk of membership of the local club. And then, my son picked up some cool stuff. My buddy Mike is still there. He picked up some great stuff. And I don't know, coin shows are fun. If you have any in your region, make sure you attend them. You never know what you're going to find. And this is what I found this time. So I appreciate you checking out the video. I will see you in the comments. I will catch you on the next one. Peace.